Hi, you're very welcome to this 30-minute session on Excel snacks and a little bit about an upcoming course that I'm teaching as well. My name is Anne Walsh. You're very welcome along. Please note the session will be recorded, as I've mentioned to some people already. If you're on the witness protection program, if you have a deep dark secret, if you do not wish to be, known to the police, as they like to say, all right, you can just duly note all that. Okay, so as Graham Norton always likes to say, let's crack on with the show. Okay, so this session today is about conditional formatting. Okay, and let me just kind of kick off my session here now for a moment. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Find the share screen, that would make a big difference. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so this is what I like to call my 20 seconds or 20 minutes, hopefully, of Excel goodness, conditional formatting. It is when you want to add a pop of color or a splash of color to your Excel data. A tiny bit about me, all right. My name is Anne Walsh, also known as the Excel lady, because, people will kind of look at me and say, I can't remember your name, but you're the Excel lady. As I like to say, that happened to me when I was getting my COVID vaccination as well. You know what I mean? So I live in the west of Ireland. Okay, for those of you who do live in Ireland, you might sometimes see on the weather forecast a place called Mace Head. I live about 4 miles away from there, so right on the west coast. I have a website called Excel Expert, and I have been working with Excel probably since the mid-1990s, not the mid-1890s. Okay. I've written a number of books on Excel, your Excel Survival Kit, which has gone into its 2nd edition. I've also written a number of books for Bookboon, and one I sent off last week to the publisher as well. So there's 5 there, another one in the pipeline. Okay. I love movies, I love puns, I love crime fiction. Okay. I think there's nothing like relaxing in the evening with a good serial killer. That's what I always say. And more recently, jigsaws and podcasts. Okay. I have one son who is very kindly helped me out today. That's Lauros. He's a software engineer, and you can really blame his mother for that. Absolutely. That is one thing where his mother is completely at fault. And if you want to, you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. There we go. If you look for the Excel lady, you'll find me on LinkedIn. Okay. So now that all that stuff is over, let's gallop on to the next bit. Okay. So what you're going to learn in this 20 minutes or so, you're going to learn how to color code your data automatically. It's also known as conditional formatting. Another one of these unknown ones, and then basically how do you do it? Okay, so it's going to be kind of a bit of a focus on the demo aspects of things. Some other stuff, okay, as like some of the ads called the boring legal stuff, which is, although it's not legal, it is being recorded and it will be sent out afterwards with the file, probably early next week. You can ask questions in the chat and I will try and get to you if I can. And I have another one next week at the same time, 25th of the 3rd at 12:30, in which I'm going to see if I can do a dashboard in 20 minutes. I'm actually not quite sure if I can do it or not, but I'm going to see if I can, see how far I get with it. Okay. So what I'm planning to cover in this, basically conditional formatting is, to use a sporting analogy, a game of 2 halves. Okay, see the apple there, obviously. It's about the condition and the formatting. So the way you would kind of do it, and I'm going to kind of demo a number one of these here. You're going to select your data, home conditional formatting, choose your condition, whatever that might be, choose your color, click OK. Hey, presto, you're done. All right. And it's one of these ones where there's a lot of kind of resources in it to do things. I want to look specifically, I'm possibly a bit ambitious here, but I want to kind of give you a flavor about 4 of them. Identify cells that meet certain criteria, e.g. highlight cells rules. Want to use color to identify items that are in the top, top 10, bottom 10, etc. Create icons to identify certain kind of entries, and also to have a look at a thing called data bars as well, all right, which basically is the bigger the number, the bigger the bar. Very, very scientific. Okay. So let's see what all this looks like in practice. Okay. And let me just do my Excel sheet here. Okay, and share my screen. Yes, Oksana, yes, lovely, good to see you too. Okay, and very welcome to anybody else who's come along. Okay, so let me just kind of do a quick share here now. All right, and let me just share my screen. Right, So the first thing I'm going to look at is highlight cells rules. Okay. So let's say, for example, I want to identify, and I'm not going to do them all. I'm only going to pick up maybe 2 or 3 of them here. Okay. So you're going to go to Home, and let's say Conditional Formatting. And I'm just going to start with the first one here, which is highlight cells rules. So here you have a number of them, let's say greater than, less than, between, equal to, text that contains, date occurring, duplicate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 of them. I'm going to pick the first one, let's say greater than. So I can say highlight this here, and I want to pick out everything, for example, that's greater than 200. Now I could have 200 in a cell here, all right, which is one possibility, or a cell up here. Or I could also just type 200 into the condition. So I highlight my data, Home, Conditional Formatting, highlight cells rules, and I say greater than. And you see there, kind of Excel will kind of look at the numbers and say, oh, this is what I think you need. And I'm going to say, click here. And then from here, you have a number of presets that you can choose. Okay. If you don't like those ones, you can do a custom format. But at the moment, let's say we'll stick with maybe the green fill and then click OK. Right. So that would be how, let's say you set this one. Another one that's extremely useful is to highlight duplicates. So if you have a big data set, you need to identify duplicates. Highlight this one here, conditional formatting, highlight cells rules and duplicates. Now duplicates means in this case anything that occurs more than once. So if it occurs twice or 20 times, it just basically says it's in it more than once. You know, it doesn't distinguish between the frequency. Okay, I can see here we've got a load of duplicates in this one. Okay, but there's only one kind of unique entry, and that's kind of Sinead Fahy, which is here. Again, I've changed the formatting of it. And I want to show you one more thing then on this one. Let's say, for example, I want to look at something that's, let's say, greater than or equal to. So if I click up here, and I want to say greater than or equal to 5, conditional formatting, highlight cells rules. But for that one, you need to go into more rules, which is here. Okay, a greater than or equal to is not on the default settings. You need to go into more rules. Cell value is greater than or equal to, and again, let's say, for example, this time I'm just going to type it in 5, and then you choose format. So they don't kind of give you sort of a preset formats, and I choose fill because I like fill, choose that one. And if you had a Friday afternoon, which this nearly is, you could spend many happy hours going into fill effects and kind of, you know, adjusting the conditional formatting. Could I suggest that perhaps you have a little bit too much time in your hands if you're spending a lot of time on that? But no, that's fine too. Right, so I'm going to pick this one. I might pick that one there, we'll say. Click OK, and then click OK. So that's your highlight cells rules, which is the first one there. Any questions or comments on that one, just lash them into the chat and I will have a quick look. So Laura, any questions, comments so far that you can see? Or Captain, my Captain?
Not so far.
Not so far. Okay, great, thank you. Right, the next one then is going to be top bottom rules. Okay, let me just navigate to this one. So let's say, for example, I want to pick up maybe the top, let's say, you know, I'm going to pick up maybe the top extended amount of values. Click here, I go to conditional formatting, and this time I'm going to go down to top bottom rules. Now you can see there, you know, you have a top 10 items, top 10%, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%, but you could tweak that to your own number. So for example, let's say I pick out the top 10 items. And if you notice here, it says 10, but I could change that to something else. And if you notice here as well, see, for example, there's a number of values there that are duplicated. So it will actually highlight all those so that I could end up with a lot more than 10 values if I have a number of repeating values in it as well. And again, the thing about conditional formatting really is to try and make sure, if possible, to use the presets. Look at the presets first. See if somebody's done the work for you already. One other thing as well is that if you want to clear the conditional formatting from something, you can highlight it, conditional formatting, clear rules from selected cells. And that just kind of basically just, you know, as I like to say, strip it down to the plaster. Okay, so straight away you're kind of back to 0 again on it. I want to show one other one here as well. Conditional formatting, top bottom rules, and let's say if I want to pick out, let's say what's above average. Okay, and I might just choose these ones here. And then you could also come up here then and do a filter by color. You want to just filter them out by that. Now this is quite a chunky record set. There's about 56,000 records in it. So these are the kind of things that make your life a little bit easier. And then I'm going to go to data and then knock off my filter. So that gives you a little flavor of your top bottom ones. Okay. Any other questions on that one? Laura, any questions or comments on that one that you can see?
No.
Not yet. Okay. People are just awestruck by the beauty of it. I know that's what it is. All right. Now the next one then is traffic light systems. Okay. All right. Those of you who have the misfortune or fortune to live in Galway will know that, you know, traffic lights in Galway are kind of, well, let's say Friday afternoon in Galway is no fun for anybody. Let's just leave it at that. I do remember one afternoon being on the bridge and watching somebody walk by me and then walk by me and then walk by me. So, you know, be noted. So this is about if you want to have a traffic light system. So this is a little bit different from the previous two. There's a little bit kind of more to it. So for example, in the quantity columns, I've got my instructions, green for values above 9, orange for values between 4 and 9, and red for values 4 and under. And then we can sort it by icons. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to choose my quantity column. I'm going to go to home, conditional formatting, and then I'm going to go to my icon sets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my icon sets first. Right? I'm not going to set the rules first. I'm going to choose the icons first, and then I'm going to go into modify the rules that Excel has created. Okay, so I'm going to go here, choose my traffic lights. And if you notice over here, as I do it, kind of, it's like you can see kind of Excel giving me kind of already saying, I think this is what you need. Okay, and just, you know, kind of it makes sort of a presumption about what you might be looking for. So I click here. I then go to conditional formatting and I go down to the very bottom to the one that says manage rules. Okay, now when I go to manage rules, this is the rule that Excel has set up, and I now want to modify this. So I click on it and I go to edit rule. Now, when I do that, I get this little box down here at the bottom. So it always says greater than 67%, 33%, and so on. So the first one I have up here is I want to say green for values above 9. Okay, so there's my green icon. And the first thing I do is I change the percent to number. You could change it to formula or something else, but I'm going to change to number. And I put in 9. Now you can also have the number 9 there somewhere. And then I also change this to greater than. Now, when I do that, you'll see that this changes as well. This automatically kind of picks this one up. So greater than 9. My second one up here is orange for values between 4 and 9. And I've said greater than 4, less than or equal to 9. So I change this percent to a number. And the reason I change that is because if I don't do that first, Excel will kind of, if I put in this number first and then change it to number, Excel overwrites what I have here. So I'm trying to save myself a bit of work. So I click 4 and I just change that, let's say, to greater than. Okay, so let me just check now. Up here, green for values above 9, I have that. I'm then looking for orange for values between 4 and 9, greater than 4, less than or equal to 9. There we have greater than 4, less than or equal to 9. And automatically the last one is created, which it says red for values 4 and under, less than or equal to 4. Okay, and then I click OK. Right, and then I click on apply. And then OK. So just I can see there's something. Laura, somebody got something in the chat there about something?
Yeah, Nicola asked, so the value automatically assumes the parameters already in place when selecting greater than?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. What it does is it kind of looks at what they're already, and then you can see it just picks it up and kind of sort of pulls it in automatically. You don't have to specify it. It's almost like once you do the first one, it kind of like sort of like flows down through the rest of it then. And then the last bit there is that I want to sort it by icons. So I click here, I go to data, I go to sort. And what I want to do, for example, is sort, let's say by red, you know, I always say this is a temperament thing. Do you want to start with the bad news or the good news? We've all had those questions. So I'm going to say sort by quantity. And if you notice here, I just selected, I just clicked in here And what I do is I choose from here and it says conditional formatting icon. So it comes up with the red one. I want that on top. And then I just go copy level, choose orange, and then copy level and choose green. Okay. Basically, you'd carry on, and if you had more than 3 icons, you do the same thing. And then I click OK. Now, when I do this, you can see it has sorted it in the order of the icons as well. Now, depending on who you are, you might prefer to start with the good news or the bad news. There was a lot of bad news in that one, so you might as well get it over with. Okay, and then finish on a high, as I say, that last one. So that's just the icons. Okay, and then I want to do, so you do the same thing. So just a reminder, you'd highlight your column, you'd go to Home, Conditional Formatting, and the idea is basically you kind of let Excel suggest something to you. I might just choose this one, arrows. And then you would just go into the manage the rules. Make sure this is still selected, go to manage rules, and then edit rule. And this is where you'd make the amendments. And just those couple of little things you need to watch for, that you change it to number first. So for example, if I go here and I change, let's say to 10. Oops. 10. And then I change it from percent to number. You see there, it overwrites what I have in it. So if I do the number first, it means I don't have to re-enter the numbers again. All right. Now, any questions on that piece, lovely people? Into the last one. Okay. Now, the last one I want to show you here is the data bars. Okay. And I always think data bars is one of these things where, it looks really slick, and it's possibly one of the easiest things you can do in Excel. So if I click up here, for example, let's say take actual, I highlight my numbers, and it operates on a simple principle. The bigger the number, the bigger the bar. So go to Home, Conditional Formatting, and you see there it says color data bars. Okay. And then I can choose, maybe I'm going to pick green because I like it. And you see there straight away, if you're kind of looking at that, you get a visual straight away as to which the bigger numbers are. So your eye is drawn to the bigger numbers. Okay. And the same way, if I change my variance, I let this here, formatting, data bars, I might just choose a different orange one, this one. And see with this one, I kind of like this one. You see there, it gives you a little switch over to the minus ones. Okay, so the ones that are minus, it's kind of like it's a little, which is quite a nice little touch as well. Okay. Now, the last one I want to show you, which I realized I didn't have in it, will be the color scales. Okay. I like to call these the climate change ones. And I'll just show you how you'd apply this to a pivot table. Okay. So if I click here and I go to Home, Conditional Formatting, there's my color scales. And the idea would be is that at this stage, we've all seen different climate maps. Do you know what I mean? Like greener and cooler areas, redder and hotter areas. This is the same kind of idea. See, there's about 12 options. So if I click this one, what you do is you click on a cell, and then you use this one down here to auto-populate the rest of it. So you can see that when I'm kind of looking at these, basically the higher numbers are green and the lower numbers are red. So it goes on a spectrum from kind of green to good, bad to red. And if I want to remove it, then I can just go to Conditional Formatting, Clear Rules, and this time it says from this pivot table. Right? And I always think, if those of you who do pivot tables, if you don't know what a pivot table is, that's okay. It's just basically a summary of your data. But if you are doing pivot tables, adding that little bit just adds a nice, color pop to it, as they say. Okay. Now I'm just going to stop the share for a second. Okay. Yes, that's it. Any other questions or comments at this point? Okay. All right. So just to say to you, this was the first part of this is just about just giving you a little flavor of conditional formatting, which is something that's included on a course that I'm hoping to start next month. All right. It's an 18-week course, and I just want to tell you a bit about it. If I get Lauros to put a link to the, he's going to put a link to the sales page, which shows you how much it is, but I'll tell you all about that. And if you're kind of thinking, yeah, I'd like to do it, but not now, there's also an interest page there as well. So Laura, so if you could just put in the first link, which would be if you're interested, but not now. And the second page then is that if you want to know more about it or you're thinking about signing up after this, just at the second one, that would be lovely. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about it. Okay. And I will tell you about how it came about and so on. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about, I've run this course now about, it's about the third or fourth time I've run it. And I just want to say a little, there you go, take the lift. So I call it take the lift. So instead of going up the stairs, which we've all done at various times, I can feel like going up, a penthouse building when you're dealing with Excel. The idea behind this is just that this is about making it a little bit easier for you. So what I'm just going to tell you about in this 10 minutes, about who this course is for. So basically a little bit more about me, what the course will cover, and the platforms used. Okay. Also about the structure of it, your investment, and the Q&A at the end. Okay. So this is for you if you're really interested in upping your Excel game. Okay, because I'm going to basically, it's over 18 weeks, and I start from the very beginning. It assumes no prior knowledge, and at the end we're looking at doing things like dashboards and all the rest of it. And that's where I'm at with my current group. Okay. You decided that you're finally going to get around to Excel. It's been on the get around to list for a long time. I must do something about Excel. You kind of think, okay, now I'm really going to do something about it. You prefer instructor-led training. Some people work fine with online training. Some people prefer to learn from books. Everybody's different. But if you like an instructor-led training, this probably would suit you quite well. You're willing to show up every week and do the homework. The people who do the homework are the people who progress the fastest. I see that over and over and over again. All right. And it doesn't mean that you kind of spend hours on the homework, but if you're willing to at least attempt the homework, it really does make a difference to your learning. Okay. You want to find smarter ways to work with Excel, learn shortcuts, alternatives, maybe have a range of things that you can do at your fingertips. You've been asked to do more and more in Excel, and you don't even know where to start. Okay. So, like I said to you, just in terms of my background and so on, I've worked with Excel for a long time. I remember Excel 5.0. I mean, I remember Lotus, no opportunities in all harm. It came in green and it came in orange. That was it. Take it or leave it. Okay. So I've written your Excel survival kit, which, as I like to say, is getting good reviews. Got good reviews on Amazon, and they weren't all from my mother. Okay. I've also written this one for Book Boon, which is about Power Query, which I think is brilliant. Nobody ever knows about. Create great reports in Word, create great reports in Excel, how to track your training records using Excel, and then the second edition of the Excel Survival Kit. And the most recent one I've had is Pivot Tables Explained. Okay. Converts you from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Okay. Okay, maybe it won't. That's probably a slight exaggeration, but that's the cover they came up with. Okay, so what the course is going to cover. Okay, so the first half is basically reviewing introduction. Okay, it starts at the beginning. We need to go through your basics, review your formulas and so on. We do VLOOKUPs, a variety of techniques. Okay, we do pivot tables, including presenting them in PowerPoint, do charts, okay, conditional formatting, as you saw there. Okay, if functions, okay, developed based on Boolean logic, George Boole, who's a Cork man. The other part, then we also do more complex functions like ifs functions. We also do data validation, how to create drop-down lists, macros, Power Query, Excel superpower. If you have to clean up data, which means basically, remove unwanted rows, unwanted columns, unwanted totals. As a gentleman once described it to me once with accounting things, you can hear the creak of the dot matrix. And those of you who don't know what a dot matrix is, well, your life is just as well without it. Okay? Kind of a creaky printer. Creating dashboards. And I also do an introduction to Power BI, which is Microsoft's data visualization tool, which is quite powerful. We also do a wrap up as well. So that's a kind of an overview. Starts from the beginning. Like if you know some of the stuff already, that's brilliant. But it doesn't really assume any kind of prior knowledge. Now, the benefits to you, easy to fit around your current work. It's one evening a week, okay? And I generally run it about 3 evenings a month, because when I ran it first couple of times, I ran it kind of like straight through, being a bit of an energizer bunny myself, and people just found kind of like the one after the week, whereas 3 weeks, sort of 3 weeks on, a week off, it seems to work quite well. No need to leave home. You can dress whatever way you want to, okay? But you know, within the limits of common decency, preferably. Right? I'm very happy to help between sessions. Okay, very, very happy. I was actually talking to somebody this morning, because really, you know, the thing is that I don't want people suffering with Excel. I want people to kind of feel, you know, I'm good at this, I'm confident, I'm competent, and you know, very happy to help between sessions. You get homework. Yes, I do like homework. All right, pretty much after every session. Not all of them, but you know, 90% of them. Sessions are recorded and lifetime access given. So that's one of the beauties of virtual, kind of like it's recorded, lifetime access. Numbers limit to 15. I don't take any more than 15 people. Okay, I want to make sure that I have enough time for everybody, that everybody gets a chance, and so on. So, you know, that's kind of set up already. Work benefits. Excel's a superpower. Every office uses it. Whether you like it or not, that's how it is. Okay. More opportunities for promotion, earn more, learn more. Right. If you have good Excel skills, you can pretty much go anywhere, which, you know, really very powerful. And you can learn the techniques and shortcuts that will cut hours off your working week. Okay. So if you're willing to kind of invest your time into learning how to do things, you know, you can get smarter and smarter. And beauty of it is that you'll find that what you learn, like if you know how to do a pivot table, one set of data, you know, within reason, it's quite possible to do it then with all the others. Learn to feel competent and confident with it. Okay. So here is what some other people have said to me. See there, it has enhanced my personal life will be an understatement. I no longer feel like an imposter. I'm confident and competent. And that's really what this course is all about. Okay. And I may going back to work using a bit easier. I am, like to think I'm amusing, maybe not witty, but I'm certainly amusing. All right. I will always come up with a bad pun if it's possible. And again, all the material, etc., is provided in it. Okay. The course will be delivered on Zoom and GiraffePad. So everything is done on Zoom. I use a platform called Learning, called GiraffePad. All your files, all your links, any additional materials all stored there, and you have lifetime access to it. Okay. You're given an introduction to GiraffePad, but my experience is that once people, you know, it's very user-friendly, very user-friendly. And sessions recorded and lifetime access. Okay. So again, it's basically, if they're 90-minute sessions, there's 18 of them, run roughly over 6 months, you know, give or take 6 months, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I ask people to come up with some kind of an ambition, goal, learning project at the beginning. Okay, sessions done on Zoom. I will be starting on the 5th of the 4th, which is a Tuesday, 3 times a month, and numbers limited to 15, homework between sessions, and so on. The price for this, €450, approximately $495 or £380. First come, first serve. And once I have 15 people, because I already have one person lined up, closing the doors. If you sign up and attend at least 3 sessions, you'll learn something. That I'm kind of quite sure of. And there's the link there to it, which Laura will put in the chat to you. And also to say as well that if you use this link, this code, you get 15% off only up until next Friday. Okay. Now, this will all be sent out to you afterwards in an email with the recording and everything else. So I'm kind of thinking, I can't remember what she said. She said so many things, as I like to say. Okay. And now I'm going to pause and see if anybody has any questions. Okay. All right. So any other questions? Anyone?
No, all good.
Oh, all good. Okay. All right then. So I do like to kind of run things on time. It's now 12:59. I'm within 1 minute. Okay, lovely. So that is where I am going to end the recording. If you have any questions for me afterwards or anything you want to pop in email, that will be sent on to you, like I said to you, probably not today, but hopefully by early next week. I'll get my lovely Zita, who was my lovely admin person, send that to you early next week. All right. So at that, I will leave it and say thank you very much. And yes, thank you. You're very welcome, Nicola. Very welcome. Okay, lovely. And have a lovely weekend. And great stuff. I'm just going to stop the recording.